it's MK and I am scrapping on a ship today, and I'm also playing along with May I Scraplift You, and today I was inspired by Sharon Hutchinson. So I picked out this layout because I thought it would be perfect for our Central Park photos. Now I decided to go with the overview photos for Central Park as well as the seal that is directly in the center of the park, because I also have an insert in between these two photos, or these two layouts of the actual park itself, little bits and pieces. Now, I also am going to do a separate page, so a companion page, but treat it as if it was a two-page of the little duck that Sandy found within Central Park. So it was super fun. So I've got these two papers that were from the collection packs that I picked up from the ship, and I don't know if they both came in the same pack or if one is from one and one is from the other. And then I pulled out this yellow from 49N Market Sunburst that is just foundation paper number 3 called Sun. I want to use the bright yellow paper for Sandy's duck, and then the subtle paper on the other side for my overview park photos. So that way I get a 2-for-1 out of my photo mats. So here I'm just sharing with you guys the difference between the two photo mats, even though it is one paper. I really do like that I got two different looks, a more classy look with a more fun look out of the one piece of paper. So, and I know I keep saying it was just one paper. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and glue the photo mats down because I know for a fact that that is what I wanted to do. I also went off camera and cut out all of those monster leaves or monstera leaves from that paper because I wanted to scatter them across my two pages. Now I have no clue what I am doing as of yet. Now, the reason why I was inspired by Sharon's layout is because of the simplicity of it. She has her photos, she's got a gorgeous background, and then very little embellishments. And that is what I wanted to try to accomplish with this because I love my photos so much, especially the overview park photos. I did not really want to overcrowd them with anything. In fact, once I built my layout, I wanted to leave it as such. I wanted to leave it just the way it was. So I'm going to use my edge ruler to go ahead and tear my paper in half. So I've got one half over on this side, the other half over on the other side. Another thing Sharon did was she put a little bit of mixed media over on the edges of her ripped paper. And I thought, oh, well, I'm going to put my monstera leaves right there instead of doing some sort of mixed media, because then I keep this nice and clean and neat. The paper that I'm using from this cruise kit from the cruise ship itself is actually a very super thin, almost copy paper, probably not even worth copy paper. It is very thin, but again, it's also has a pocket card feel to it. And when you play around with pocket cards, if you know that if you put something too thick, it's just going to want to try to sneak out of your pocket. And so the sense is that you do want to keep them thin. So it does make sense that it is like this. However, for any type of mixed media, it would have just curled and buckled instantly, even if I put the mixed media, slightly underneath it. So I decided to just stick with the monstera leaves or monstra leaves. I don't know exactly how to say them. I think they are monstera. But for Sandy's photos, I am trying to figure out, I had them in placement before I put the photo mats down, and now I can't remember. So I'm just sorting them around and moving them and trying to get what I want, because I feel like I've been doing the clusters of 4 for the last couple layouts. And that's just me. Maybe it's because I'm making too many layouts in one time, but I just felt like I'd already done that. So I was trying to go for something else. And then when I put them back to the cluster of 4, it was like, that's what works, right? Okay, so I picked out this giant escape because I thought that this was pretty cool. It is a nice, quiet escape for those that want to get away from the carnival casino type of areas on the ship, right? You've got your water park up on top, your casino down below, and right in the middle is this gorgeous, gorgeous park, which to me, wow. And I'm just blown away that they put a park on a boat, you guys. That that just fascinated me. And every morning I made at least 2 laps around the park, making sure that, I didn't forget anything. I didn't want to forget anything, or not see something, right? And every day I found something new. And so my pictures are scattered throughout every day of the park, but I plan on just putting them all together as here's the park, right? I'm not going to scatter them on day 1 here, on day 2 here, I just decided I'm going to do one double page layout with an insert in the middle, and it's actually going to be a 9x12 pocket page with a flap on it that is available at scrapbook.com if you guys are interested, because I had too many to just do a small 12x9 layout. There was just too many for that. I did not want to shrink them because a park this gorgeous, you don't want to shrink its attributes. In my opinion, this is just all me talking for myself. I did not want to shrink the beauty of this park. So I left all my photos at 4x6, and the only photos that I made 3x4 were Sandy's, because it was just such a fun ordeal, and I wanted to get all 4 photos on the layout. And a 4x6 would have taken away from what I wanted, what I was accomplishing with the simplicity of the layout. So because I have very rarely done simplistic layouts, I went through all my things because I felt like I needed something. So the first thing that I did was I grabbed out all the sea creatures and all the flowers and all the leaves, and I was going to make cute little clusters and spread them out because that's really where I wanted this layout to go. And then I thought, no, I don't like that. That takes away from what I want you to look at. It takes away from where I want you to focus, which is these gorgeous photos and how fun Sandy had finding a duck, right? So yes, I just was like, nope, let's not do that. So then I went into my my wordy bin, my it's not a bin, it's like a tray, and I pulled out all of these things and started pulling out, and everything said paradise. And then I realized that the Escape Here title was just too big. It was taking away, and I wasn't finding anything else pink that I wanted to put on the layout, or that color to put on the layout. And then, of course, I changed my title. I found a few other things. I'm still on the fence of where I want this layout to go. I found a couple things that I wanted on Sandy's layout. That seemed like it was a no-brainer. But as far as my other side, where I wanted something, I was struggling a lot because I just wanted to slap my photos on this layout and be done. So in the end, I decided that I wanted to put a little bit of shading behind my leaves, just a hair. In fact, you can't even see it in the close-ups. You can see it here, but in all honesty, it does get lost, and you can't really see it behind the photos and the leaves and all that stuff. But I wanted it there. I really felt like I needed something that went from the harsh line out into the vast space of the white, right? So that's what I ended up doing. And whatever was on my brush is what I used. I never reloaded it. I still don't reload it for Sandy's page because I want it to match. I didn't want it to be brighter and out there. So whatever was left on that brush as well. But Sandy's is going to cover up a whole lot more. So I wasn't too worried about that. So yes, I put my leaves down. I put my photos down. I've got this one little straggler, not sure where to put it. And then I opt in the end, it's not going to go anywhere. I don't want it on my layout. I want the white space. I want the leaves behind the photo. I want the photos to just stand out. So then that's where I decide to finally cutthroat where, what is going to go on this layout. And so my big giant yellow dot that said paradise again took off. The other one that said this is my happy place is not going to happen either. I found this view in amongst the sticker, or well, actually they're more like chipboard pieces from the kit that I got on the ship. And it was the perfect color. It has a little bit of sparkle to it, but not a whole lot. Because I don't plan on adding any more sparkle to it. So I went ahead and I put my little swan that came in the, what are they called? The Tropicals sprinkles from the shop. And then I'm also using the word tropical, and I'm going to use it as my title. So it says Tropical Paradise. And then underneath I have a subtitle basically that says Relax and Recharge. because you just one lap through this park and you felt relaxed. You didn't even have to sit down and anything. It just, you felt relaxed once you were walking through this park. It was crazy how much you realize you're on the boat, you're in the water, all that stuff, and then you walk through technically land right in the middle of the boat, and it just makes you feel so relaxed. It's hard to describe, you guys. I don't know. So I'm going to work on the other page because that one I feel like is done. I'm not going to add any more to it because, again, I want my photos to be the star of the show. I want my photos. I just wanted the photos, you guys. I was so in love with those photos. Now, I'm not sure who took the photos. I feel like the early bird one, the one that was going up and down, was mine, or I should say vertical, was mine. And then, of course, the seal was mine because those were my feet. But I think that the other one that was going horizontal was Kathy Carr's, I believe. You guys, I'm not taking credit for any of these photos because I don't know. I could go and look really quickly, but you all know me. I'm not going to because we all agreed to share photos and pillage for each other's photos. Because some people got different angles, different, morning light, evening light, things like that. And so I thought it was fun that a whole bunch of scrapbookers got together and we have over 90,000 photos to share with each other. It's a blast. And I also love the fact that we all took different excursions, or some of us didn't take excursions at all, so they got the village life, the shops a lot more and things like that. And so I thought it was great because, especially in Jamaica, where we were stuck on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and we didn't get to see much of the little shop pavilion area. And so I just thought that it was great that I was able to get those pictures, even though it wasn't me there. I mean, we ran through them so fast. I saw them in a quick blur running to the boat or running to the bus, but yeah, it was crazy. All right, so for Sandy's page, I've got this quoted speech bubble, which I absolutely wanted to use, but it's in blue. So that is definitely something that I'm brainstorming of how do I get rid of that blue, because for once, I want a speech bubble on my layout. For once. I've never, ever, ever wanted a speech bubble so badly on my layout, but I had to because, Sandy, I found a duck and she was just so excited. I can't say it like she did. I can't raise my voice like she did, but I can still hear it. I can still feel the excitement and how happy she was that she wasn't even looking, and our first walk into the park and whoop, there it is, and so yeah, it was just so great. And so I really wanted that speech bubble to express that and remember that, how her expression and how excited she was and whatnot. And so, of course, and these photos are a mixture of mine and Janet's. They're not, I think they're 50-50. I think 2 of them are mine and 2 of them are Janet's. That was crazy. And then I am going to keep my fun times on this day sticking up and poking out. But the thing is even though it's poking off of my page, it's not poking out of the book. So the albums that I buy, I want to say they're 13 by 13 albums because my 12 by 12 page protectors, and I know that they're 12 by 12 because this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper, is larger than 12 by 12 because these fit in without any buckling or anything. And then when I put those page protectors in my album, there is a frame of album around the page protector itself. So I know in the back of my head, having it stick out just a little bit like this, I know it's still going to be slightly protected, maybe not that tippity tip top corner, but I do know that that they are going to slightly be protected by the album itself, more so than sticking out and then going to get caught on whatever shelf I put them on, right? So anyways, I went ahead and I wrote down, I found a duck. Now I wanted it to be a little bit more central than it is. I'm terrible at filling in the circles like this, you guys, or speech bubbles or whatever. So I wrote it in pencil first, knowing that even if I wrote it in pencil, I still wouldn't be able to erase it. But I did. It was a comfort thing, right? And so I went ahead and wrote down, I found a duck. And then I wrote down the little story about how she, found the duck. But then I decided that I'm going to outline my speech bubble and the little quotes in black. Can I still see a little bit of blue? Yes. But now I feel so much better about it. Now I love the speech bubble because I got rid of all that blue. If it was the same blue as Sandy's shirt, I probably wouldn't have, it probably wouldn't have mattered to me very much. But as far as that, that baby blue and nothing else was blue, I'm okay. So here I'm explaining that I am going to leave that sticking out of my, well, not explaining it, but sharing with you guys that I am going to leave that sticking out. I'm not cutting it off. And I did put my little flower with my leaves also from the tropical sprinkles from the shop. And it just says awesome. So I do have 2 titles because technically they're companion pages, but I made them together as a 2-page layout just so that way I created basically 2 pages, even though they are going to be next to each other, but they're going to be separated with with an insert, a pocket page insert. So I love how simplistic this is. I really, really do. I pulled so much inspiration from Sharon's layout, but I struggled with it. Not going to lie. I really did struggle with trying to keep it simple, right? So Sharon, thank you so much for your inspiration. I really do appreciate it very, very much. Don't forget to check out all the links down below. I've got a playlist link for May I Scraplift You, as well as Janet's link to her channel down below because she's scrapping on a ship with me this month. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will check y'all later. Bye.